Yeah. Hey man, what y'all got going, man? It's your boy Prophet. Look, we finna check out the Phoenix Suns are in serious trouble. Now, I watched the first two games. I ain't watched game two. Have I? I don't know. I might watch it anyway. I watched the game one for sure though. Anthony Edwards been on KD ass. He been on them boys ass, man. Now they say the Phoenix Suns in trouble. I think they is, bro. They don't got enough defense. Them niggas don't hold no
One
deep.
of the Wolves and Suns series,
Check
it's
the video
no
out.
secret that Anthony Edwards completely stole the show. With big play after big play to get the crowd
Popping
involved,
they ass.
letting Durant hear a piece of his mind.
Yup.
I could talk
Yup.
for an hour just on the walking highlight reel that he produced.
Yeah.
With that said, I think there's a bigger story to follow after watching this
Gobert
game.
played good,
and that's
though.
how Minnesota completely shut down everything Phoenix tried to do offensively. The Wolves started out this game with different matchups from the regular season. They put Jaden McDaniels on Devin Booker, who was so devastating that I could probably
Get
do
shit
an
outta here.
entire video just on him. And that, of course, left Towns on Durant, which sounds like a big-time mismatch. In all honesty, it probably is, but that's completely intentional. As one of the best isolationists ever, KD's always going to get his one-on-one, and they showed a willingness to concede those buckets. It really didn't matter who was on him. Whether it was Towns or even Kyle Anderson, they left him in single coverage.
Okay,
and
that's a good point. That's a good point. I'm glad he pointed that out because KD always gonna get his regardless, right? But KD don't pass the ball for real. So, like, if KD get his 25, 30, that's cool. KD don't really shoot a lot of threes either, though. So, if you just don't foul him and you let him shoot them tough-ass shots, that's a good plan, bro.
lived with his individual scoring. That led to a pretty big night. 31 points on 74% true shooting, just torching the defense with tough shot after
74%
tough
is
shot.
crazy.
With that said, he also only picked up 1 assist with just 7 potential assists while turning the ball over 5 times.
Yep,
So
see, he don't
despite
pass.
appearing to take over the game with his scoring, the team had just a measly 102.6 offensive rating in his 39 minutes. That's because Minnesota's defense was hell-bent on taking away everything else. Obviously, Towns can't chase Durant around screens, so anytime he had to, they'd just switch Gobert onto him. Now it's right back to playing one-on-one,
That's
and
smart as
contrary to
fuck.
popular belief, Rudy typically thrives in those situations.
That's smart
Of
as
course,
fuck.
against an all-timer like KD, you're going to run into some wins and some losses, but sliding his feet to protect the paint, getting hit with a sharp step back, and getting a hand up on the mid-range jumper is about as much as you can ask for.
True.
And let's be clear, this game plan wasn't just tailored to KD. The idea wasn't to make Kevin beat them, it was to make isolation ball beat them. So whenever anyone attacked, there was no sort of early help or loading up. Phoenix has multiple talented creators, but this style of your
don't
turn,
pass.
my turn offense won't cut it against a defense as elite as the Wolves.
Yeah, they
Here's a
don't
great
pass,
example
bro.
of what I mean. Booker's gonna take McDaniels one-on-one, and the Wolves make no effort at all to show a second body, literally giving him an entire side of the floor. It's only when he beats him off the dribble that Rudy's gonna step up to protect the rim, but without overcommitting so that he can still remain in position when Nurk gets the ball and tries to attack himself.
Damn.
It's the exact same thing whenever Phoenix tried to get into any sort of screening action. When Eric Gordon sets a ghost screen, Naz Reid doesn't care about the ball. He stays home the entire time, and the play ends up in a live ball turnover.
Bro, the Suns got nobody. They don't got no point guard. Really, who is their point guard, bro?
As a result, the team struggled to create consistent advantages, and role players couldn't really get involved in the same way. Think about how vital Grayson Allen's shooting has been to their offense. He only attempted 3 threes in this game, and I don't expect him to continue shooting 0%, of course not, but the fact that he couldn't even get attempts up is cause for concern.
True.
Another way the Suns like to create via movement is with the use of the two-man game. How the Wolves defended those was through aggressive ball
Bookies.
denial.
Let me get them.
Whoever was defending the intended recipient, in this case Alexander Walker, would front the action, and the risk here is that it does open up the opportunity for a backdoor cut. This is where they
you
place
live with
a
it.
lot
You
of
gotta
trust
live with
in
it.
Rudy. Beal cuts, Nurk threads the needle, only for Gobert to rotate down and take away the layup.
Shit.
In an effort to pull Gobert out of the paint, at one point the Suns went with a smaller lineup of KD at the 5 while spreading the floor with nothing but shooters. Of course, the Wolves had a counter to that as well,
went
going
zone.
to a 2-3 zone. That way, Rudy can patrol the middle, close out to the perimeter as he sees fit, and once again, the Suns struggle to create any sort of advantages. On this one, they do a good job
The Suns low-key ass.
of swinging the ball, and Allen probably should have taken this three, but he instead decides to drive, which materializes into nothing. Then when he kicks it out, it's intercepted.
Who the fuck you throwing that shit
just to
to,
quickly
bro?
recap, the entire goal of Minnesota's defense was to limit movement, deny the ball in handoff situations, switch off-ball screens, leave isolations one-on-one without loading up. Then to counter a 5-out lineup, it was a zone. What I haven't
tough.
talked about yet is the league's most prominent action, pick and roll. Throughout his entire career, Gobert has pretty exclusively played a deep drop coverage, but Phoenix has a unique roster in that all three of their top scorers are mid-range dominant, meaning that a deep drop sort of plays into their hands. So instead of drop, they had Rudy playing a lot higher than he typically does. This time he starts to drop, but recognizes the mid-range threat and steps up to the ball. Then after forcing a pass, makes
Rudy
a great
locked
recovery,
in, man.
yet Nurk is still able to finish.
Rudy
It's
locked.
important to note that just because Gobert gets up on the midi doesn't mean he can take it away every single time. Here, he perfectly times up a contest. Durant just knocks down an impossibly tough shot.
Yeah, that's tough.
And the big risk that comes with Gobert playing a more aggressive coverage is it does weaken the paint resistance. He does his job of not letting Beal get a jumper, but nobody covers for him on the back line. This is precisely
Karl
why
Towns
he
gotta
always
rotate.
played drop in Utah and what led to a lot of the playoff narrative surrounding his game. They didn't have secondary rim protectors or athletic wings to cover ground whenever he left the paint. These Wolves are different though. Gobert's first instinct is to drop back, and you can see how much of an effort he's making to not let Durant get to the mid-range. Then when he finally commits to the ball, he's got a second big, Naz Reid, rotating down to protect the rim.
Facts.
And just like in isolation,
Yeah.
they weren't over-helping or loading up in a way that would let the Suns create easy advantages. Notice how instead of sinking to the nail, Ant stays home, and it's not until Gobert jumps out that he gets ready to make a rotation before closing out to get a hand up on the 3-ball. With a smarter and more athletic defense surrounding Rudy, not only are they more comfortable bringing him up to the level of screens, they don't mind letting him switch onto any player, and this is where he's really starting to shift the narrative. For years, you couldn't have any discussion about Gobert's
shit.
defense without someone bringing up that he either gets played off the floor in the playoffs or is a cone on the perimeter, and for a 7'1" center, that couldn't be further from the truth. Obviously, he's not going to stop every guard every time, but on a play like this where he's left on an island to defend Devin Booker and
locking that
gets beat
shit
with
up.
no help, he stays close enough to make it a really tough finish. Or how about this one against Durant? He slides his feet, turns his hips, and gets a hand up on the pull-up jumper. That's just an all-time scorer doing what he does best.
KD makes some tough ass buckets, bro. God damn.
I think we take for granted how in control of his body he is at that size. Bradley Beal makes a fool out of even the league's best wing defenders with his nasty step back, and Rudy not only sticks with it, but without giving up an inch of room. And with just under 4 minutes to go, the possession that ultimately sealed the game started with him defending KD from 30 feet out. He anticipates a crossover and uses his length to poke the ball out, which triggers Edwards to start his own pursuit of the ball, resulting in a turnover and easy run out for a big-time slam. All that's to say, it's going to take some major changes within Phoenix's offense to counter what the Wolves are doing.
It
They have
definitely
to
is,
find a way
bro.
to move the ball, get role players involved, because if not, this pickup basketball style of attacking just won't cut it against the #1 defense, anchored by one of the best defensive players ever. If you enjoyed this breakdown,
I don't know about ever, man.
make sure to drop a like,
But, they is
subscribe,
locked
and
in,
turn my
though, I ain't
post
gonna lie.
notifications
They
on
locked.
to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out my website and social media profiles. You can find those links in the description. Feel free to let me know down in the comments what you thought of this game.
I might go buy
As
some Anthony
always, I
Edwards
hope you
shoes,
all have
bro.
a great
Those look
day,
kinda hard.
and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey, that's gonna do it for the video, though, man. Hey, it's your boy Prophet, man. The Suns, they ass. I'm gonna be real, man. They gotta get that shit together, or else they finna be packing that bag and going taking their ass home. No cap. I'm gonna see y'all boys in the next video, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bro. Posting these videos all playoff long. Let's go. Come on.